Welcome to Dodgers Dogs. As part of the Dodgers Daily Network, Casey Porter here. Wow, what a win. I don't even have show notes. I don't have anything. I am riding the cloud nine. You know, hey, I spent my whole life trying to train myself not to get too high, not to get too low. Throw that out the window. I mean, oh my gosh. How about that game today? I am not going to lie. You guys know that I try my best to be optimistic without being like cheerleaderish and, like Pollyannish, although sometimes I think I probably get that way a little bit too much and it probably drives you nuts. So I try not to get negative too much, but I'm not going to lie, guys. You wonderful Dodgers dogs out there, good evening. I have put the link to the chat if you want to join the show, man. Let's come join the show. And let's talk. I know Bruce likes to do it. I've talked to Racy before. We've had some good conversations. So here, actually, let me put that link in there one more time right here, and then click that link and come join the show. And let's make this about you. Let's talk about what you want to talk about, because I'm just telling you, I am going to wander around just kind of on cloud nine because just the way this thing happened. I'm telling you, if you go to any of my social medias, before Freddie hit that home run, I would have given $1 million that the Dodgers were just dead in the water, man. They were striking out. I mean, like, it just didn't seem like things were going to work out. It didn't seem like the baseball gods were on our side. The whole thing starts out. Let me actually click this. So if we want to get somebody in the show, again, I just put the link in there. Click that link if you want to come on in the show. I would love to talk to you. So Teo hits the ball to dead center. Laureano goes back and robs the home run. The Dodgers score the one run. And then of all people, the 9-hole, who has like one hit in his last 747,000 at-bats, Yamamoto hangs a splitter or whatever pitch it was, and he hits a home run, and all of a sudden the Padres have the lead. And then but I will say when Cronenworth led off with the double and we stranded him, Yamamoto stranded him, I was like, okay, well, they're not building on, because how many times this year have we seen the Dodgers score early like the Padres did today? I mean, the way the Padres lost today, how many times have the Dodgers themselves lost like that? Where you score, you get a big home run early, you score early, you get some momentum, and then, right? I mean, the Dodgers have won that way so many different times. And I'm telling you, before Freddie Freeman hit that home run, I was a pouty mess. I was pouting, I was bitching, I was moaning, I was just dejected, I was pissed, you name it. Whatever emotion could describe what I just said right there, that was me. I mean, it's like, really? We're going to freaking get swept by the Padres, and this is how pitiful it's going to be? I mean, like, we're just not even ever going to score? And, I mean, Shohei Ohtani's pulling off balls, and so it was kind of a myriad of things. It was like, you remember the inning where Michael Conforto, where actually Andy Pages led the inning off and hit a low liner that the left fielder came in and caught, and you're like, dang, man. And then about 5 pitches later, Michael Conforto, who, by the way, had a better offensive day today, let's not forget that he led off with a nice walk in front of the Freddie Freeman home run. So if we're going to knock him down, we got to build him back up for the great day. And so then in the same inning, Andy Pages hits the low liner, a diving catch. I mean, not like it. That's a ball that should be caught by a major league outfielder. Both balls should, but you're still thinking, gosh, off the bat, I mean, that probably has a base hit percentage of 400 to 500, and both of them are caught for outs. That's on top of the grand slam getting robbed. And I'm just thinking, this is it. I mean, the Padres are getting ready to take a 2-game lead, and I'm going to have to sit here and literally just artificially try to convince myself that everything's okay. The Dodgers pitching is elite. They'll figure it out. They always have. And we're going to have to go into that mode. And I'll be damned if Freddie Freeman, hey, we said it. Al Minerva said it on the show this morning, and it could not have been a better way to put things. Go ahead and bet against Shohei Ohtani, who hit a massive bomb. Go ahead and bet against Freddie Freeman. And go ahead and bet against all these guys who have such great pride and have won so many games. Do it at your own risk. What you saw was finally a team in Freddie Freeman that you had a leader step up and go, just like Freddie did with the Grand Slam last year against in the play against the Yankees in the World Series. Just, you know what? The chips are down. It doesn't look like anything's going our way. Looks like the baseball gods are pissed at us. Plus, we're not playing very well offensively. You know what? Screw that. My name is Freddie Freeman. This is why they hire me to play for the Dodgers, is to be this guy in this moment. Freddie ties it up. And how many times do you say in baseball that hitting is contagious? Success is contagious. So once Freddie Freeman got that lid off, you could kind of just feel the tension, because even with major leaguers, they can say what they want. But when you're not playing well, you're getting ready to get swept, you're at Petco Park, the Padres are playing well, they have this unbelievable bullpen. Say what you want, but that tension mounts, even with the biggest of professionals. So Freddie Freeman lifted all of that tension, and then how about the rookie? I mean, so I'm going to say this. I'm not going to let you in on the exact conversation, but basically I messaged Dalton a couple days ago and just said, hey man, it's a tough role. Very proud of you. Just continue rolling with it. And just let's think about the things that you have gotten to do and not the things that you haven't. And that is, you've gotten to spend the entire back half of your season as a major leaguer. And just kind of in a nutshell, nothing too in detail, the whole entire response was, hey man, it's all about the team. All we got to do is just keep the team winning. It doesn't matter how I do this and that. Dalton Rushing is maybe the most team-oriented player that you can think of. So this was the first big, huge moment for Dalton Rushing. There's no doubt about it. It won't be his last, because this wasn't just a, hey, I hit my first major league home run, go get the ball, let me put it in my trophy case. What this was for Dalton Rushing, this was the first big moment where he felt like the team absolutely needed him to come through in a big pinch, and he did. So yes, will this be neat on a personal level that Dalton Rushing had his big first moment as a Dodger? All of that will be cool, and I think you'll eventually appreciate that. But I promise you, whenever you saw him going around the bases like a total pro, the only thing going through his head was that he just helped his team win that game. So congratulations, Dalton Rushing. You are the absolute man. There is nobody, and I mean nobody, that deserved that moment more than him. He's been put through the meat grinder. He's been given an absolutely atrocious role. Not an atrocious role as far as what the team needs, but he's been put in an atrocious role if you actually want somebody to develop. So for him to have that role and to struggle like he has, like you should expect him to do in that role, in a situation to where he's never been anything other than a dude his entire life, for him to stay as confident and as positive in the game, in his game and in his abilities, and to still be able to come through like that, that tells you a lot about what Dalton Rushing is made out of. And then you could see the confidence. The next at bat, I know he made an out, but he sure looked confident and comfortable when he lined that thing to the right fielder. Then Shohei Ohtani added on. The next thing you know, because Freddie Freeman stepped up like Freddie Freeman has done so many times, hitting got contagious, the fun got contagious, the winning got contagious, it all got contagious, and then the next thing you knew, you had an absolute pop knot, 8 runs on the board and a pop knot on the Padres' head, and that was a get out of here at San Diego. This was, I said this, I can say this now because I said this before, okay? This was not 1 out of 162. This was not that. This was a huge, huge, huge game. Huge game. Because now the Dodgers not only are back in first place, they actually are alone in first place because they have the tiebreaker. In essence, the Dodgers are a half game ahead of the Padres. Both the Padres and the Dodgers have pretty favorable schedules coming down the stretch. But this was a game that the Dodgers really, I'm not going to say had to win, because again, if you didn't, you don't want to say that, because what happens if you don't win? It goes back to those principles. But this was not 1 out of 162. Again, I can say that. I can be that dramatic because I said that on this morning's show. This was a huge game that you absolutely, very much so, needed to win. And I'm going to go as far as to say, if the Dodgers go ahead and figure their stuff out, they start pitching better, they start playing better offense, and then they turn into the Dodgers that we all hope that they will, that they're capable of. It was good to see Tanner Scott back on the bump, by the way. The Dodgers finally got him back on the bump in a situation that actually mattered. And like I said the other day, I really think Tanner Scott, just seeing him and Kirby Yates, it was good to see him too. Just from seeing Tanner Scott in his rehabs, I expect him to come back and be the Tanner Scott that we're hoping we were going to get all year. I'll be surprised if we don't get him. So if we do go on and the pitching gets healthy, Tanner Scott turns into Tanner Scott, Kirby Yates becomes reliable, the starting pitching becomes elite, and then you get back a Tommy Edman and Kike Hernandez is going to be back starting tomorrow. At least that's what Dave said in the Red Series. You're going to have, probably after this week, you're going to have Ha-Seong Kim back. You're going to have Tommy Edman back sometime at the beginning of September. So you get those guys back, and then the offense turns into a good offense. Let's not forget, for the longest period of time this year, the Dodgers had the best offense in Major League Baseball. So if you get everybody healthy and you get everybody playing properly, hey, and this isn't just me being euphoric about beating the Padres, although I am. I said this on yesterday's show. I said this on today's show in the midst of a bunch of shitburgers that we were having to deal with as fans. I said these same things. If you get everybody back, Tommy Edman, Max Muncy, which I'm not, that one worries me, but Kike Hernandez, Ha-Seong Kim, if you get all those guys back, the Dodgers have already shown this year that they can be the best offense in all of the game of baseball. If Tanner Scott comes back and he's Tanner Scott, Kirby Yates is reliable, okay? And your starting pitching just continues to do what Yamamoto did today, which was a good outing, okay? You have a chance to have the best pitching staff in all of Major League Baseball. But the problem was you were just struggling so bad, you just kind of felt like, man, this is like a black hole that this is why teams can't repeat, because it just doesn't seem like anything goes your way the next year. It seems like you just kind of lose a little bit of that edge, and it turns into a little bit of lethargia and that kind of deal, which we saw even today. So I'm going to say it again, and I said it yesterday, and I said it the day before. Even in the midst of the Dodgers struggling, this club has the roster to be both the best pitching staff and the best offense in baseball. It is capable of doing that. Now, will it? I'm not saying it will. Was the Dodgers a great offense today? I don't think so. They got hot there towards the end. They finally got the lid off, and they started relaxing. Go back to 1 week ago with Coach Barikoff. The Dodgers had just swept the Padres, and when we came on the air, the first thing I said was, yeah, cool, we swept the Padres, but there is not anything about this weekend that has me excited that this team has figured anything out. And lo and behold, that came to play out. You split 2 out of 4 games in Colorado. You lost the first 2 in San Diego. I'm going to go opposite on this. I feel like that home run from Freddie Freeman. I feel like the home run from Dalton Rushing. The explosion after that, just the freewheeling, you just kind of felt the lid pop, okay? That's what I felt today. And I said in this morning's show, and I meant it, as serious as a heart attack, that when you have 3 Hall of Famers, when you have Will Smith, when you have Dalton Rushing as your depth, when you have the Teo Hernandez who can flip, when you have that kind of roster, it can switch in a moment. You saw that today with the Dodgers. I feel like, unlike last weekend, again, go back to the show, I wasn't impressed with last weekend. It did nothing for me in the big picture of things in terms of thinking the Dodgers were figuring things out. I really feel like today possibly could be the day that you look back a month from now and you go, you know what? That home run by Freddie Freeman, that home run by Dalton Rushing, that turned our entire season around. That was the season-defining moment in a positive way. I really feel like today's game has the possibility of having that big of ramifications. And again, I can say that because that was a forecast on today's show earlier about how big of a game this was, and not just being euphoric about the Dodgers winning today. I think it has that potential. It felt like the Dodgers relaxed. It felt like the Dodgers went, oh yeah, this is who we are. Let's freaking go. Maybe it's a one-off. Maybe it's just a one-off 2 or 3 innings, and the Dodgers show up tomorrow and play the Cincinnati Reds, and it's right back to, just this team looks, like I said earlier today, this team looks old. This team looks tired. It's lethargic. Maybe it goes right back into that. I don't think it will. What I saw with my own eyes today, I do not think that it absolutely will. And Freeland should stick his Freeland definitely should stick BT Travaglia. What a wonderful crowd we have logged in 2 times today. You Dodgers dogs have come through. Give yourself a standing ovation, because what a crowd we had earlier today. What a crowd we have tonight. We will have an abbreviated down the farm session. I'm not going to lie. I have not even really analyzed the Oklahoma City or the Rancho games. The only games I have are Tulsa and Great Lakes. So it's going to be somewhat abbreviated, but we will cover some of what down the farm. If I don't ramble on too long about the Dodgers, we might and might not have a farm session. Let me put it to you this way. If you have somebody that you want to talk about, then let me know and we can cover them. And right now I am putting the link to the show in the chat. Click that link and come join the show. I'm by myself. I don't like being by myself. So let's get on with it. Hey, on the TikTok side, another tremendous crowd on the TikTok side. Hey, Dodge, how are you doing? Thank you so much for joining tonight. I Spy, thank you so much for joining. Rushing is a future all-star. I sure am excited about him. He is a great young catcher. Finally, smiles on the faces. Again, that is professionals. They've won all these games. They're going to be Hall of Famers. Smiles. Remember, it's a kid's game. Momentum, you'll never be able to convince me that momentum doesn't exist. You won't be able to convince me that success and fun and those kinds of things aren't contagious. I think we saw it today. Michael says Dodgers are trying to buy another World Series. Okay, well, fine. I don't care what the Dodgers have to do. If they have to buy it or whatever, I just want to win another World Series. If you want to be pissed about it because you think the Dodgers bought the World Series, I don't care. All I know is that I want the Dodgers to win another World Series, and they took a step towards it today. So we have somebody in the lobby right now. Let me actually get to my guest scene right here, and we will click it over. So we have Zemal. Zemal, I do not have any video yet, so why don't you go? I'm going to leave it on me until I see your video, and you're going to see me, and you're going to hear Zemal, Z-I-M-A-L. Am I saying that right? Can you hear me? Yep, just left the meeting right there. So I guess we do not have anybody there online. If you heard me there, go ahead and click back in and join the show, and we will get after it. So, man, we have a ton of people logged in on the YouTube side. We have a ton of people on the TikTok side. Sorry I have not got to your comments yet here because, again, you Dodgers dogs, you have stepped up. You have stepped up to the plate this weekend. You have supported Dodgers dogs as part of the Dodgers Daily Network. And I cannot tell you how much I appreciate all of you people, because whenever you do a podcast, you show up every day, and sometimes you're in a good mood. You're like everybody else. Sometimes you're in a bad mood. And so you have to deal with all of my goods and bads. And I'm sure that gets annoying at times. So because anytime you deal with anybody on an everyday basis, you start seeing all the issues they have, or this and that. So the support that you Dodgers dogs give me, I can't tell you how much it absolutely means to me. Gibby Gabe, thank you so much for joining. Yes, go Dodgers, no doubt. Pacific 671 Islander, your input on the subject Inquiries on the Dodgers going forward into September. What would that be? We'll get into that here in a minute. And on the YouTube side, Jeffrey Graham, thank you so much for joining. Dreyer looks like a Tombstone character. Good evening. Thank you so much for joining, everybody. Dalton, Daniel Berry Sports Highlight, thank you for joining. CNAB, thank you so much. Teo got robbed of a grand slam. I had some colorful language at that moment. And then a couple innings later, 4 or 5 innings later, Andy Pawhead gets robbed. Michael Conforto gets robbed. You give up a home run to a guy that shouldn't be hitting the ball, of which, by the way, go to my receipts. Right after that home run, I said, hey, I would rather see a left turn thrown to Diaz because Diaz needs a mistake pitch to hit. And it's easier to make a mistake on a pitch that turns right because it's harder to turn the ball right. It's harder to pronate than it is to supinate. Most pitchers, it's easier to do this, right-handers, and turn it left than it is to turn it over and pronate and turn it right. So it's easier to make a mistake trying to go right with it. So I made the statement, I would have rather seen something that turned left. Well, in comes Blake Trinan, faces Diaz later, I think in the 8th inning, whatever inning it was, that Trinan came in, threw the sweeper, turned left. He looked like he'd never swung a bat before. That was absolutely a fantastic sequence. I'm telling you, I posted it on social media, CNAP. I was a pouty mess, man. I'm just telling you, I was dejected. I was negative. I was pouty. I didn't think the Dodgers were going to come back. It's like the baseball gods are against us. We have a grand slam robbed. We're striking out too damn much. And when we don't strike out, we're hitting it right at somebody. And this team is it's like they're, I don't know, man. I'm just pissed about the whole thing. And then bam, man, I'm just telling you, as composed as I usually am with my emotions, I was not composed today. I was a pissed off, pouty mess and then on the exact opposite, I turned into this right here like a giggly schoolgirl, right? Which, hey, I'm not going to apologize for it. That's the mood I'm in. I'm not a manager on this team. I'm not Andrew Freeman. I'm not a player. I can be pissy and pouty and then watch Freddie Freeman hit a home run and then celebrate. And I can ride the roller coaster. Nothing I have to say makes it damn. They don't know anything about Dodgers daily. So I can be this type of excited person right now. I don't have to play the Reds tomorrow, right? So, hey, let's all be excited. Let's get in a great mood because today was a great win, not a good win. Today was a great win. The Dodgers really, I'm not ever going to say had again, but they needed to win today's game. BT Trebaglia, no doubt. They needed that one very badly. Matty Man 5 Dodge. Doubleheader day for Matty Man 5 Dodge. Thank you so much for joining and for your great support. All they did was save the season today. No biggie. Hey, I'm telling you, I don't like to make too much out of one game, but I have receipts. We talked about this, Matty Man 5. Both of us did. So we can say this. We forecasted you had to win. Well, I said that word. This was a huge game. This was not one of 162. And they did it. So this was a huge game. And I totally believe that today easily could be a season saver. I don't think it's too euphoric and too just, oh, you're just too excited right now. I don't think it's that kind of statement. I think that has a lot of backbone to it. Showtime LA. How you been lately? So pumped for Dalton. I know how hard it's been for him. He should be the starting left fielder next year over Conforto. Conforto to Madagascar. Hey, I will say, Showtime, I'm not going to push back because he didn't get a hit, but he had a huge walk on a great at bat. And then he also hit the liner to right field. Conforto had some good, I know his first at bat was very uncompetitive. And after watching him just strike out and not be competitive, I'm like, oh, Dodgers fans are losing their mind right now. But you got to give Conforto credit. He did have 2 good at bats today. Jeffrey Graham says, yeah, Dalton proving himself for sure. So let's say that Will Smith comes back in the lineup and he's the catcher every day from now on. Dalton Rushing right now has done enough to secure the fact that him being on this major league team has been worth it, okay? Hey, there's Bruce right there. This moment from Dalton Rushing is enough to say, well, having him on this roster and all of that, it's all been worth it. So, hey, I'm going to bring over Bruce. Are you there?
I'm here.
All right, Casey. We got Bruce Davis in the house. Bruce, I am party and hard tonight. What a win, brother.
What a great win. And, I did want to say earlier that you were 100% right, all right? I love Tio. I'm glad he signed with us. But if I had to talk to him or ask him questions, I'm not being negative to him, towards him. Listen, I'm asking you the questions. I want you to show up. You're not going to get paid a bunch of money and just think you can just, sit in right field and just let balls drop. You got to hustle.
Hey, bro, these are the perceptions of Dodgers fans of you right now. Perception is reality. So explain that, right? That's kind of how that was a conversation we'd have, right?
Well, yeah. I mean, and I wouldn't be disrespectful. Listen, I would never be disrespectful to any of my Dodgers. And for one, if I went up to the plate in 162 games, I would be 0 for 162. I probably wouldn't even be able to get a butt down. So I'm just saying, I'm a fan. That's it. All right.
Yeah,
You're the
of course,
coach,
we all are.
But I'm just saying, we just want these guys to play hard. All right. If you at least play hard, and like you said earlier, I don't care who's in the lineup. All right. If Dave Roberts, that everybody's so angry about, if he puts guys in like, Buddy Kennedy's been good on defense. Has he been great hitting the ball? No. But
he's been terrible hitting the ball. That's the problem. Yeah.
Take one or the other, play hard on defense. I'm proud of Russian. And I think this kid deserves, somebody brought up today, I think it was Cole, in the chat. Let him play first base. Let have Freddie have
Cole had a great plan for how to get him 4 or 5 games a week. Yeah, no doubt.
Right. Why not? I mean, I think that would be probably our best. If this kid continues to keep hitting the way he's doing, I'm glad we didn't trade. That's just my personal opinion. So,
yeah. No, well, yeah, he's a great player and he is team first. I promise you, his whole entire focus on what happened today. Yeah, cool moment for me, but he was just so excited that he did something positive for the team. Because what wears on you when you're Dalton Rushing is that, like, why do they even have me here, right? I mean, what the hell is – I'm not doing anything to help the team. And so helping the team the way he did, that's going to relax him to no end. So super excited about that.
I'm really excited. And what's your thoughts on Yamamoto today, man? Like he really, man, he is just chopping. Listen, he's going to have a bad inning here. Like, so what?
Yeah.
What did he do after that bad?
I thought Yamamoto was good. I'll say this: I think there's a better Yamamoto out there. I was Bruce. I'm not going to lie. I'm going to keep it real here because, hey, man, when your offense is struggling, your ace has to be better than what your offense is. I don't care. Hey, if the Dodgers aren't giving him run support. Sorry, that's just what's going on. That means that you need to be better than what the offense is bad. And so I was very disappointed in the hung and that the fact that he hung a splitter to Diaz and really kind of put the Dodgers in a situation to where for the longest of times it was like Matty Man saying it was the lowest of lows. So I can't give him an A. I can't give him an A for today because he hung a bad pitch and you can't do that in this type of situation. But he was fine. So what Yamamoto gave the Dodgers today, if the Dodgers do start playing just not great, but just decent offense, today's outing is surely good enough. But for the way the Dodgers are playing right now, I needed a little bit more out of Yamamoto. Maybe that's asking too much. But I just that one mistake was a big mistake to me.
Well, I mean, but how on the other hand, how many other pitchers? I mean, we don't even have to suggest how many pitchers on our Dodgers have threw. I mean, everybody does it. I'm not saying you're right. He probably should have. If it's going to be down to it that you want to be an ace and Yamamoto wants to be that guy, well, then you know what? If our offense isn't doing nothing, guess what? You got to start chopping down these fools.
Yeah.
And especially the Padres, man. They're right on our tail, man. We can't allow them, and we can't be allowing one pitch literally could have cost us that game. If we didn't score any more runs at,
we lose. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying about Yamamoto. That's why I can't give him like an A. I'm not saying he pitched bad. I think he pitched good, but that one mistake, I can't go over the top with that at that point. Maybe I'm too harsh.
But again, I'm gonna take the little things. Was it messed up? Of course it's messed up. But like, how many pitchers? I mean, everybody in baseball, I mean, how many times we've seen this year? We get towards the end. We're winning the game. We get towards the end. and one of our relief guys throws a splitter, or he throws a cutter that cuts, but it ends up cutting, right in the middle where the guy just can just clobber. I mean,
cement mixer. Yeah, no
listen,
doubt.
I'm
no
not
doubt.
a baseball. I'm not a baseball pitcher. I'm not a baseball player. I never was, but I love the sport.
Yeah.
My favorite. I was a basketball guy. I coached basketball for many years, but I love baseball.
Yeah.
And I also was thinking, guys, we also remember in chat too, and I get it. Our starters in the beginning of like spring training, they might play an inning, just like football. They only play like, maybe one couple drives. That's it.
Right.
But let's forget about the October. We got October too, if we make it there.
Let's
we
hope.
play 8 months before we get to October. Our guys are starting to play after a certain amount of time during March. Our guys start playing because we're getting closer to the season. Now, we had to go to Japan, obviously, to start.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying, we play 8 months, plus we still got a month of baseball. So we're like playing like 9 months of baseball. We can't expect these guys to be perfect.
All the time. If they are tired and lethargic, that's because they look that way. That's because they played more baseball in there. That's a good point, Bruce. Very good point.
All right, Casey. Thank you, Coach.
Hey, appreciate you, brother. We'll see you next time, all right?
Thank you.
See you, man. Hey, Bruce Davis has checked into the house. What a great job. He always does. Thank you, Bruce. That's a great point that the Dodgers play so much extra than other teams, plus the roster's a little bit older. So if they do look tired and lethargic, maybe they are, and there's a good reason for that, and that's because they do play so much extra baseball. Great job there, Bruce Davis. Thank you for joining. And a great comment here from CNAB. This is absolutely spot on. Remember, we had the conversation about Tyler Glass now, to where if the umpire is squeezing you and the umpire's not good, too bad. Okay? You can't just give into that and just bitch and moan about it and say, well, I wasn't good today because the umpire sucked. You can't worry about things you can't control, and an umpire is not something you control except for in the negative. If you want to try to control an umpire, what's going to happen is he's going to get pissed at you. Human nature is going to kick in, and it's going to get worse for you. But overall, by and large, you cannot control umpires, and you cannot worry about things that you can't control. So if the umpire is not good, too bad. Figure it out what it is that you need to do to make that umpire happy. That was Dalton Rushing, exactly what CNAB is saying here today. He got a bad pitch called on him up in the zone, which if you're struggling, that hurts, man. I'm telling you, the difference between 1-2 and 2-1 or whatever the count was at the time, that's huge. One pitch in an at-bat, a borderline pitch, is like literally the difference in 250 points to a batting average. And instead of pissing and moaning about it and going, I've had a crappy year and I've been given a bad role and instead of doing all that, Dalton Rushing went, you know what, to hell with it. Throw that son of a bitch south because I'm getting ready to put this thing in the outfield bleachers and we're getting ready to win this freaking game. That, like CNAB is saying, is somebody that instead of making excuses goes into compete mode, and that tells you all you need to know about the competitive nature of Dalton Rushing. Hey, Pocket Rude Boy, thank you so much for joining. What an incredible crowd we have here tonight for Dodgers Dogs as part of the Dodgers Daily Network. Rushing needs to change his walk up to Legion of Doom. Oh, wow, yeah. What a rush. Chuck Huddleston, I like seeing how happy everyone was in the dugout for Dalton. Yes, because they know the meat grinder he's been put through. They know he was the number one prospect. They know that because of the role he's been given, it's been hard for him to be good at all. And they know it all came to fruition in that one moment. He's had the one moment. He's put his stamp on this team. He's put his stamp on the season. So no matter what happens going forward, he has that stamp. And that will make a huge difference for Dalton Rushing moving forward because he's so team-oriented. All Dalton wants to feel like is that he's actually helping the team. And obviously hitting that 3-run home run did that. Elisheva Jones Rushing's role is the same as Barnesy's role. Yes, it very much so is. It 100% is. BJ Travaglia, and we saw Austin Barnes struggle mightily offensively for about the last 3 or 4 years. He's a little bit better last year, but it's just a hard role to be a good offensive player in that role. Rushing led the pitchers through today, and he called a great game. Hey, there's another point, Travaglia. Did you see Dalton Rushing getting in the pitchers' heads and encouraging them and telling them when they had a good pitch? And it's not just about cheerleading. If you talk to some of the pitchers that Dalton Rushing throws to, not only is it about cheerleading and trying to make sure your pitchers stay in a next pitch frame, a positive next pitch mind frame, it's also about challenging them like, hey, dude, you're better than that. Throw a better pitch. Come on, man. Kind of like what we've been doing here on Dodgers Dawgs. I don't want to be negative, but damn it, you're better than this. Come on, man. I'm not going to sit here and just blow smoke up your ass all night long. We're not playing good. You're not playing good. And you're capable of being better. Dalton Rushing is the master at doing that for his pitchers, which is one reason why the Dodgers have wanted to keep him at catcher, because he has just such a good mentality to have for his pitchers. Gabe is in the house. Can't wait to see what the Dodgers do to Conforto. He says just leave Freeland on third until Muncy returns. I think this is the most innings that Yamamoto has pitched all year. That's a good point there. That is a concern too. I can't deny that. So Z-Mile, thank you so much for joining. Hey, if you want to hop into the chat again, I know Z-Mile logged in just a minute ago. Here is the link again. Would love to talk to anybody who wants to talk Dodgers baseball on the show. Trying to invest it, and Yates all pitched good today. And Tanner Scott has to stick. Freeland has to stick. He's been a good switch hitter and plays multiple infield positions. For somebody that doesn't want Alex Freeland to stay at the major league level, why? What have you seen that does? Now I get it. This you can crunch stats. You can, and you know he's a rookie in this kind of deal, and he's hitting 226, OPS 729. I understand that, but he's a rookie. He's just getting. Not only is he just getting into the major leagues, he's getting inserted into a pennant race. He has no time for any kind of transition whatsoever. He's having to hit the ground running. And he's making it look like not only is the moment not too big for him, but this is actually the kind of moments that make him feel the most comfortable. He looks as comfortable as a 10-year veteran out there right now. Now, is the 226 great? No. Is he capable of doing better than that? Yes. And over the long period, like we saw with Andy Pages, the numbers will even out. He'll be a 260, 270 hitter. He'll hit about 12 to 15 home runs, and he'll steal 20 to 25 bases and play good defense. So I am totally in agreement with you, CNAV. I've not heard this. I think Dodgers fans are just so intelligent. They see the same things that we do. I guess I just called myself intelligent. That's fine. I'm that kind of guy. But I agree. I think Alex Freeland is a keeper. Keep him at the major league level, and let's go from there. Hey, we have another guest in the house, Chuck Huddleston. Chuck, we just lost your video there for a second. I had it, but there we go. But we have the video and the audio. Chuck Huddleston, how the heck are you?
I'm doing great. I was trying to get in on my iPad, and it wouldn't let me, and finally let me on my iPhone, so I kind of had to do like you do sometimes. You got to go with the flow, right?
Absolutely, absolutely. What a win today, Chuck. I am so excited. Am I too excited?
No, I think we got to get, you know what? We have to ride these when we get a chance to, because those days we don't get to ride them. So, you know, I've been, like I told you, since 1964, I've been riding this up and down. And I went through the 67, 68 years that, oh my gosh, only 3,000 fans at a game back then. You know, it's like you could hear everybody across the park talk.
3,000?
In 67 and 68, when Koufax retired and Drysdale got hurt and then he had to retire, I mean, the team was terrible. I think Lynn Gabrielson led him in home runs with 10. That was when Bob Gibson, I saw him shut the Dodgers out 5-0, and Gibson had I think a 1.12 ERA for the whole year.
Wow. Yeah. What do you remember about seeing Sandy Koufax pitch in person?
I never saw him in person. Okay. I didn't get a chance to go there, but I saw him on TV, and that's kind of when I wish I had, you know, but I never did. But I saw the last game Juan Marichal ever pitch when Rick Rhoden came in and replaced him, and he got nice. I saw the last game Pete Rose ever played left field at Dodger Stadium. A fan hit him in the leg with a baseball when he tossed it in the stands, and they carried the fans out. Poor big guy. The fan out. I don't know what happened later, but That was kind of crazy. I got to see Pete Rose almost every year. He used to come to Santa Maria for the Cappy Harada baseball banquet. He was with the commissioner's office, but that was cool. Got to do some cool stuff.
Yeah, man. So, okay, I'm super excited. Am I overstating it when I say that this might be like Matty Man was saying, a season-saving victory, and or maybe a victory that if in a month you're going back and you're playing good again, that you look back and go, this was the turning point?
Well, the Dodgers need to now just go and start winning the everyday games they're playing. They need to go and start taking. I mean, there's not much time left. They need to be serious about every single game and be ready for every single game, and put the right lineup out. I mean, I saw when Cole got the hit today, Conforto was frowning in the dugout too. I mean, I think that there's probably a good chance he gets DFA'd this week with the guys coming back, and if he doesn't, I'm not going to understand it, because you're not going to. But I don't know. I mean, Cole's the outfielder, so it's going to be interesting to see what happens this week. I mean, I like the guy, but I mean, he's not performing. And you're right today, though. He did get the walk. I mean, I think he knows how to play the game, but he's come up way too many times with the bases loaded and not come through so many times. When I cannot understand why we ever batted him in the 4 spot, and he went 0 for 4 that day. And same thing, came up the bases, full and didn't perform. I don't understand that at all.
Yeah. This game felt like a real big gut punch to San Diego. I mean, if this felt like, wow, that was, I mean, like one of those, like we had it right there. This was like their chance to kind of get out to a lead and see if they could hold on to it down the stretch. And then the Dodgers just gut punched them. That felt like that to me.
You know what I thought, Casey? When Freeman hit the homer, and he was going around the bases, I had to feel and go, you know what? He's telling them, hey, we're the dudes, guys. We're the Dodgers. You guys, you temporarily, had this spot, but we don't have Muncy yet. We don't have Kiki yet. We don't have all our guys, but we still punch you in the mouth. We won 4 out of 6, dude. And with a couple of breaks, we could have won 5. It just got, we had you on the ropes. I mean, and the relief pitching, that's a great thing to have. But like I said a couple of weeks ago, you just take care of them before you get to the 8th or 9th. Those relief pitchers don't mean a thing.
We saw that with Tanner Scott. I mean, Tanner Scott and Kirby Yates back made no difference in the first 2 games because you couldn't get to them.
Didn't they look different to you today, too? They look different.
I told you Tanner Scott was going to be different. I just told you, man. He's looking different.
Even Yates looked different to me in a way. I mean, he looks the same, but he looked like, I don't know, looked like I'm just ready to compete now.
Looked healthy. Yes,
he looked different, and that was good to see. And I was just thinking today, they just showed, hey, we're dudes, we're dudes.
Yeah,
and
that's a great point.
You guys, you know what? I mean, if you're going to want this thing, you're going to have to come get it, because we're not just rolling over for you.
That goes back to the point we made in today's show that, hey, yes, this doesn't look pretty right now, but if you want to bet against Mookie Betts, Shohei Ohtani, Freddie Freeman, the great pitchers the Dodgers have, all these guys that have won all these World Series, if you want to bet against them, do it at your own risk, because there's a lot of pride in that dugout. That's kind of what you're talking about with Freddie Freeman.
Exactly. And I see the Dodgers too. I think they're going to start looking at doing the strike zone discipline again, because usually they work the counts, get the pitch count up, and then they haven't been doing them because the lineup's not been long enough. And you're getting Muncy back when he does that. And there's some talk that Muncy might be back soon, that he might go out on rehab this week. Maybe I hope that happens, but you might get to see him. But that's a different lineup when Muncy's in it and they start working those counts, and these guys are going to get 4 pitches against the Dodgers.
Your thoughts about the 2 rookies, Alex Freeland and Dalton Rushing? Of course, you got to realize Dalton Rushing and Alex Freeland they're homies, man. I mean, they're like best friends. So when one does good, the other one, they ride the momentum together. Your thoughts of those 2?
I've been wanting Freeland to come up all. To me, he looks comfortable. Look on defense. Look at that play he made where he's not nervous. He knows he belongs. I think he hit that first home run. He said he was feeling comfortable at the plate in an interview a few days ago. I think he just, you get to realize that, hey, you know what, I belong here. The bases are the same distance apart. The pitcher's bound the same distance from the plate. I think he just knows. He knows he might have some up and downs, but he just seems to be adjusting, and I think he feels like he belongs. I just hope the Dodgers do the right thing with him. They don't start giving him, 2 games a week when these guys get back, and because no one can be consistent when you're only batting 4 or 5 times a week. You're just not going to hit.
What do you think about Andy Pothead? Yeah. Oh, I'm sorry.
unless you're Manny Mota.
Yeah, right. Your thoughts about Andy Pages? I've said a million different times, he's streaky, but the streaks are like long periods of time. Like you'll be hot for about a month, an entire month, then it'll be cold for like an entire month. So yes, it's up and down, but it's like long ups and downs. What are your thoughts about him?
Like investing to me. If you got to put the time in and get the time in him, but it pays off well. You get a nice return if you stick with him. And when he's hot, man, he's hot for a while. I mean, he carries the whole team when he's hot. I just think you got to stick with him, and I think he's grown a bunch this year. In center field, he's a different ball player than he was at the beginning of the year.
I agree. So whenever Max Muncy gets back, what do you do with Alex Freeland? And what should your role be for Dalton Rushing? He's had his big moment. He's going to relax. He's going to settle in. He's going to be, like you talked about, Alex Freeland said, I'm comfortable. This is going to be the I'm comfortable moment for Dalton Rushing. So what roles do you have for Freeland and Rushing moving forward when Muncy gets back?
Freeland, I put at second base most games, and then have him fill in because Muncy's going to need a day off. He was getting a day off about every third day when he first came back. So I think that maybe even give Mookie a break over there, and Rushing I think is going to probably keep going like it has been going because I think you can't keep Smith out too much. I mean, if Smith could play another position, but I think also though when Shohei pitches, they're playing a lot of games. Well, Shohei's going to take the next day off. And so that's a good spot for Smith to go and rush and get another shot.
Yeah, 100%. And, hey, there's a great point by Alfonso Lucio. It seems like the Dodgers do more big picture stuff than any other organization with the lineups and just kind of the urgency or lack of that we bitch and moan quite a bit about here on Dodgers Dogs as part of the Dodgers Daily Network. So Alfonso's saying it seems like the Dodgers are an okay regular season team, but really are kind of building everything to be the best postseason team. Think that'd be a fair statement?
I think so, and I didn't think too much about what Bruce said about them playing so much and going on those that trip over there at the beginning of the season takes a lot out of you. When you go anybody
it takes a while to get over those long plane rides even, and I think 2 years of doing that trip, and that I think it's kind of cumulative after a while. You kind of might be why Roberts gives them more days off than I think you should because. You lose those legs pretty easily, and that's what I think. But I think one of the things I think works against them because they've been so good at coming from behind, and I think sometimes they sit there and they go, okay, well we might be the 7th, 8th, or 9th inning, and you can't always come from behind. Sometimes you got to put that stuff in the barn a little sooner in the game.
Yeah, Padres have the easiest remaining schedule. The Dodgers have a decently easy schedule, so. All right. Does this give Dodgers the Dodgers the stranglehold on this thing? Do you think, or I mean, is what I'm thinking? It's going to be a turning point, or your final thoughts here? What are your thoughts as far as moving forward with the Dodgers?
Well, Padres are a good team, but without Merrill, and who knows if he'll be healthy all year? Because I think he's probably their second best player on the team. I think Tatis's third, and they don't scare me. I mean, Machado, you can pitch around Machado. You can kind of play mind games with him, and you can pitch around him, and you can get him to go. You can get him to go for the bait. So it's kind of they don't scare me, but they're a good team, and they have a lot of talented players. So. I think the Dodgers, Dodgers got to get out and they're not going to give it to you. You got to go. You got to go win it.
Yeah. I've actually had one more question for you. It being a rookie like Dalton Rushing today, does that give the team a little extra adrenaline, like being the young guy, the young energy, the new energy, and it being somebody, like, hey, Freddie Freeman, yeah, cool. He's done it a million different times. He had the Grand Slam last year. He's a Hall of Famer. But it like being the first moment, it's like the first for everything. This is the first big moment for Dalton. Is that a little bit extra energy for a club, do you think, whenever it's a guy like that, when it is their first moment?
Well, yes, absolutely. And I like what I saw in the dugout because they showed an extended view of the dugout. Everybody was happy for him. And a lot of those guys came up in the minors. They played with him, and he's been around a long time. They know he's a leader. They know what his future is, and they know he's talented. They know it in the clubhouse, and they were just happy. I think they were really sad that he was struggling, and just – I think I saw a lot of really happy faces in the dugout when he did. I saw, and a couple guys went back and tapped him on the back twice, not just once. When he came through, they came back and went over to him and said, "Hey, all right."
Yeah.
I think he's they love him in the clubhouse. It looks to me like.
I am so glad that there's other people that are as excited about today's win as I am.
Oh, yeah.
So, hey, man, Chuck, I hope you every time I open this up, I hope you come in and talk, because you are just, you and Bruce and everybody that comes in, just absolutely awesome Dodgers baseball fans. I want to talk to you more about your experiences in the past with the Dodgers, too. We're going to get into that, maybe some more on a show later down the road. So thank you so much for joining, my man.
All right, you take care.
Great job, man. We'll see you. Okay.
Bye-bye.
Thank you very much. Right there. What a great job, Chuck Huddleston. What an amazing baseball fan, Dodgers baseball fan he is, and what an amazing job he does talking about it. Great job, Chuck Huddleston. That was absolutely awesome. Thank you so much. So CNAB, yes, they get to expand the 26-man roster to 28 on September 1st, so we will see what happens there. Bruce Davis says, like Ryan Ward, I agree, Casey. Ryan needs to just say, I don't want to be on the 40-man. Go to the KBO. That's what I would do. Are we qualified for the two-way rule on September 1st? Yes, because Ohtani is the two-way player. So let me ask you this. Okay, I posted this. It drives me nuts when Ohtani pulls off the ball that he hits a home run. And we have a comment in the chat here. Do you think Ohtani needs to have a better two-strike approach and strike out less? He has a 26% strikeout rate. Of course, if you do that, then he's going to hit fewer home runs. So are you one who thinks Ohtani needs to strike out less, which means it'll hit less home runs? He'll put the ball in play more? Or are you good? Of course, Ohtani's the best player since Babe Ruth, in my opinion. Are you one of those that, dude, he's the best player since Babe Ruth, so shut the hell up? Which side of that are you on? Yes, no doubt about that, CNAV. Chuck did an absolutely great job. Chuck must be a coach, too. To appreciate the catching position a little bit more, watch Mookie Betts' interview with Will Smith. It was uploaded yesterday. And Mixie Philks, thank you so much for joining. Conforto is out. There's no way they keep him with 4 guys coming back. The only pushback to that would be rosters expanding. I would be disappointed if those didn't expand to somebody in the system where that you could give a chance to give a cup of coffee to. And here's another thing you have to realize. If a guy in AAA that didn't sign a big signing bonus, let's say they like a Taylor Young, they signed for like $1, okay? He's making like $35,000 a year. That's it. Okay? For the time of the year he's playing. I'm not saying it'd be him, but somebody, and that's like a Drew Avens. You bring that guy up and it's what, $2,000-$3,000 a day for 30 days? So instead of making $35,000 a year, if he can just get 30 days on the Major League roster, he's now making $100,000 a year. That's huge. I mean, that's absolutely huge. Plus you're getting, however much it is in meal money per day, per diem, that kind of thing. So man, okay, don't make it a guy that is a marginal player that's not going to help you, that's already a millionaire. Make it a guy that needs the money, that needs the role, that will give. If they're not as good as, if you have somebody that's squarely better, I believe in the merit system. If not, then bring up a guy like Nick Senzel, okay, that needs that extra $60,000 or $70,000 or whoever it might be. Bring up that guy, a Jose Ramos, somebody like that could really, really use that role. So, hey, this has been an absolutely awesome show. We have had a ton of people log in both on the YouTube side and the TikTok side. We are a little bit over an hour long. I have rambled. I have spewed my excitement to the point to where I don't think I can do it anymore. And to be honest with you, I'm missing my wife. So I want to go say hi to her, and I want to give her a hug and a kiss, and I want to look at her instead of looking at my camera screen. So that's what I'm going to do. So for all of you wonderful Dodgers dogs out there, I want to thank you for tuning in. You Dodgers dogs stepped up today, baby. 2 great shows, 2 great lobbies, and I am pumped about that. Keep coming back. Turn on your notifications. Keep coming back, and let's continue to talk Dodgers baseball, because this is a hell of a lot of fun. So until next time, which will be tomorrow night with Austin Brubaker, he'll bring you his show. Thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you so much for your wonderful support. And as always, it's a great day to be a Dodger. Let's go, baby.